Alf, two stories today. More cards stolen by the U.S. Postal Department service workers. The hobby company CollX, C-O-L-L-X, just got a huge round of funding. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's a Monday. Happy President's Day. Hopefully everyone is having an amazing day. Big thanks to today's video sponsor, Pristine Auction. Auctions every day, 10-minute auctions. Daily auctions, weekly auctions, monthly elite auctions, all the goodness you could want. Sports cards, non-sports cards, signed jerseys, signed helmets, all the sports memorabilia coolness. It's all there, Pristine Auction. I've got a promo code in my video description to get you $10 off your first auction victory, so make sure to check it out. If you've never submitted with PSA, $25 off your first submission. One card minimum. You only have to send them one card. You can try out PSA, and it's $25 off that first order. SCD 25 at the shipping and billing screen. And of course, we can't forget SlabMags. The SlabMags affiliate has been cooking over the last week. Orders every single day. And just look at the display. Look at the UV coating here to protect your autographs, to protect your surface. It's just the best way to supply cards, hands down, period. Supply cards? To display cards. I'm struggling today, friends. Sports Card Dad promo code on the site to save 10% off of your SlabMags order. All right, we talked about Tom Brady investing big into the Card Vault card shops, which are now called Card Vault by Tom Brady. And now we have another athlete, Bobby Witt Jr., upcoming baseball phenom, has invested with other investors in a Series A funding round of $10 million, reported by Sports Collectors Daily. $10 million for CollX. I hope I'm saying it right. Anyway, this is a site that organizes cards. They have a marketplace, which the article states it's 30,000 buyers, 20,000 sellers. They're looking to improve the marketplace with the money, as well as beef up their subscription services. Now, it's interesting. Hobby companies, again, we've had a lot of kind of retraction in this hobby as far as price points going back to the highs of 2021. But the interest is there. The investment is still flowing. I know a lot of companies have gone. Of course, like with anything, I think you have a big rush. There's huge demand for something. And we've seen a complete revival of the sports card industry hobby over the last 5 years. A lot of brand new collectors / speculators / investors have moved into the collectible space, sports cards being a huge part of it. All you have to do is go to the National to really see what I'm talking about. The National is very interesting because you might be thinking, oh man, there's a lot of people that are getting out of the hobby these days. I've got a buddy that's getting out, or I've got this person, that person, whatever. And each year, coming off of the pandemic, the Nationals attendance has grown, with last year being the big record breaker out in Cleveland. And these shows just show you just how massive the hobby has gotten. It's back in Chicago Rosemont this year. It's the most popular venue really for this show because you do have space there. You've got hotels right across the street. You have food availability that is very nearby. I expect it to be bananas again this year. And it's just wild to see. I have not been to one of these Nationals going back before the pandemic that were slowish. It just has completely gone the other way. With that, there's a lot of new investment that still piles in to the sports card market, the sports card hobby, not necessarily just in buying individual cards and buying sealed product and buying into the gambling products, the breaks and the razzes and the carnival games, but it is everywhere. It is people that are investing in these companies as well. And Bobby Witt Jr. is another part of this, is going to be a brand ambassador. So he's going to be pushing a lot of this on social media. And again, he's got a lot of just random baseball fans that don't collect cards. I think the thought here is more and more athletes like a Tom Brady, a Bobby Witt Jr. make a more public-facing part of what they're doing. It only helps gain interest, make it more mainstream. I think you could argue that really trading cards, especially when you factor in Pokemon cards and how popular Pokemon cards are, the trading card space as a whole is more popular than it ever has been before. Now, unfortunately, the result of that is what we find in our next story. And that is about a ex-USPS worker, now probably an ex-USPS worker in Montana that has pleaded guilty for stealing packages. It looks like hundreds of different packages, about 10,000 plus cards. Law enforcement has gotten involved here. And part of how this individual got caught, if you can believe this, is that they got the packages that were supposed to go to other people from a sorting facility, and then they went to go resell those items back to the store where a lot of the packages were sent from. I think this was a card shop or sports card store of some sort. And so that was in big part of how this person was identified. Woo, man, that's interesting. So I don't know if he just went to like the local store or whatever. Oh, this is a sports card shop. They must be interested in cards. I've got these cards that came through the mail. And so selling them back to, I guess, the local store. It's a wild story. This person has pleaded guilty and we'll see what comes of it. This is not the first time we've heard of USPS people that have been stealing packages, or UPS or FedEx. I doubt it's just in sports cards, collectibles. I have to believe there's probably other industries, different categories that are affected by this as well. But it's just too bad. But again, it just shows you, I don't think, look, 5, 7, 10 years ago, I think it would have been a lot less likely that you saw this because sports cards and trading cards just weren't necessarily on people's radars. There wasn't as many 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure cards out there in the market. But here we are. So I guess we have to take the good with the bad. When we have a booming collectibles market, a booming sports card, trading card market, we're going to have more scams and more weirdness that does go on. I think that the internet does a good job of bringing a lot of this stuff to light. But man, it is literally daily, weekly, where there is somebody that is up to no good doing something that isn't quite right. And again, I think a lot of that too is when you look at trading cards outside of serial numbered cards, and even with serial numbered cards, it's difficult to trace a lot of this stuff, track it. So many different places to sell these cards. They're not easily identifiable, especially if it's not serial numbered card. Man, if it's vintage cards or something, as what we saw kind of at the Dallas card show where, a couple $1 million worth of cards, a lot of them being vintage cards, once you crack them out of the slab and they're now ungraded and they're just kind of flying around in the universe, it's very difficult to be able to identify particular cards. And I think that is a big part of the reason why we have seen just more movement on this sort of a thing. It's hard to trace this stuff. You're seeing burglaries in parking lots of card shows. I mean, it's just something, keep, head on a swivel, make sure we're paying attention out there because we can't forget, as fun as this hobby is, and sometimes we'll go out and buy an expensive card, we have to be extremely careful with, the way that we handle ourselves at card shows, card shops, and with, postal stuff. Friends, have an amazing day ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.